Just when you guys thought it was going to be a losing week, come back with a 2-0 Monday Night Football for 4 units on the Broncos game. Broncos +8 and the under 47.5. And that puts us up in week 10 plus 0.06 units. And hey, in the green, and we keep the streak alive. 10 straight winning weeks. Split on some NBA bets. Bad break with the Knicks bet we left you guys with. RJ Barrett has a migraine, gets sick. No one saw that coming. He ends up sitting out. Luckily, Knicks show up in the first half, get off that game with Boston in the second half, winning Monday night, gets the week going. 6 of the last 7 days in the green. How we doing, John?
As good as can be after last night, as Ben said. Under which we gave you guys. And again, guys, love having you guys watching the podcast, which we had a lot more. But we'll take you guys. Keep tuning in because we're giving nothing but winners. Yesterday, we give you under in the game. Later, we add Denver +8. That game was a 7.5-point game. So I talk a lot about it's not squares. It's not the public that moves lines. It's sharp guys. But when there's an overabundance, and I mean a ridiculous overabundance on a site, that will move it. And that's kind of what happened. You had a couple of $1 million bets at the Seminole Casino yesterday, both on the Bills, and that kind of pushed 8. So some square money pushed the line to 8 in a few spots, and because that money trickles down. So we were able to take 8 in that game. Also, yesterday, we gave you the Knicks. And again, we tell you every day, me and Ben shoot this podcast at 11 a.m. Eastern with 8 hours before your first NBA tip-off. So many things can change, and it did. As Ben said, Barrett, who's playing his best bowl of his career so far, leading the Knicks, he's unable to play. He just finished the game on Sunday, had a great game, so no sign of an injury, but it's a headache, it's an illness. It comes like that. Now, whether it was an illness or the Knicks went out drinking when they got to Boston the night before, it is what it is. He just didn't play. Once we knew that, at halftime, we were in a spot to get off the game. And when I say get off the game, it means betting the other side. So we're in a perfect spot. Knicks have a 1-point halftime lead. With the halftime line at 6.5, Celtics means for the game we're laying 5.5. So we're laying the Celtics -5.5. We're taking the Knicks +8.5 pregame. So we have a 6, 7, 8 middle to hit. I had some guys in my chat saying, "What is this? How can you bet both sides?" Whatever. This is how we could only win both sides and lose either one, which we did. We got off the side, which was the wrong side because of the injury. If Barrett was there to play, I feel there would have been a different outcome. For the Celtics to be down at half, play to the script, which we said their game is tomorrow night at Philly. Philly beat them last week. They return it tomorrow. So one eye on Philly. Take the Knicks a little lightly without Barrett, and they're down at the first half. So we get off the game at halftime again. Unless you're a member, you don't know that. Like some fool, Papo, if you're watching this, you moron, DMs me, really. You're the worst. You suck. You said that you love the Knicks +9.5. Again, we get off the bet at halftime. We win we're 10 straight. 10 straight NFL winning weeks. Granted, just pennies this last week, but it's still not a minus. It's 10. Can your campus say that? Does anybody could say they're 10 for 10 in NFL this year? So, yeah, I suck. He's blocked, by the way, on Instagram. Send me a DM like that and you're blocked. I don't care. I don't care if you're a member. Even the guys in my chat, when you get a little unruly, you take your $99 a week, get the fuck out of here, because I don't put up with that bullshit. Your $99 ain't feeding me, my friend. So let's get back to it. 3-1 yesterday, 6 out of 7 winning days, and I got guys canceling memberships. Get the fuck out of here. Goodbye and don't come back. I don't know what the fuck you guys think. You must be real suckers that believe these idiot scamdy cappers that tell you that they hit 80%. Me, documented every bet. Go on Instagram. Ben breaks it down on a spreadsheet. Every bet from week one. We had 10 bets. You get idiots like this. He calls himself the bookie killer, some mutt out in Vegas. One bet a day. Because this way he can only lose one bet a day and he can make a fucking excuse why he lost it. There's none of that. When we get an opportunity, we bet 10 bets. 10 NFL bets. I still can't believe I made 10 bets this week, Ben. 10 NFL bets, including the 2 last night. 4, 5, and 1. But because of our unit structure, a lot of our losers were 1 unit total bets. And so we wind up very small plus, but again, not a minus. 10 weeks of NFL, 10 winning weeks. We're heading, close to 50 units. Now, that 50 units might not seem like a lot if you listen to guys like Proven Winner who bet 150 units a game. I don't even know what 150 units a game is. 1 unit is 1% of your bankroll. So is there 150% of your bankroll bet? I don't know. I guess this is the way the new scam decappers do things. The way us guys that have done it for over 40 years, 1 unit, 1% of your bankroll. So by being up almost 50 units, that means a 50% return on your money in 10 weeks. So Papo, yeah, I suck. Go to Pick Vault. Pick Vault will work well for you. You sound like one of them idiots. Anyway, 3-1. Guys, watch the podcast. Love it. Appreciate the comments you guys have left. Our audience seems to be growing, not as fast as we'd like, because we really think that this is the best sports betting information you're going to get anywhere. We go over the card every day. We give you leads. We give you games. Last week, we were giving you the Raiders early in the week. A game plus 2.5 goes off at pick, and you win that game. So this is what we do that nobody else could do. We already had 3 bets for NFL for next week. We bet 3 games already on Monday for next week. We've already got 2 NBA bets today. We bet one of our NBA bets yesterday for today. Nobody does this. You got guys that, again, they call themselves cappers. They're not. They're squares. They're suckers that all they do is watch what they think is the hot side, and then they give their customers. To me, I look at my guys as members, not customers. You're members of a club. We are a sports betting information service, not a tout service. I'm not going to tell you bet every favorite on the money line or add a point, buy a point to every dog. We're sharp handicappers. That's what we do. We beat the number. Even when we lose, we beat the number. So, again, it's great to have you guys watching the podcast, but we need you to be a member. I hate to see my guys miss 2 winning bets, and that would have been Broncos plus 8, and then again the Celtics minus 6.5 at halftime, and that takes us to 3-1, and it's another winning day, 6 out of 7. You know a better capper, guys. I get tired sometimes. Let me know. Let me know that somebody does it better than me. I'd gladly play $300 a month and sign up so I don't have to work so hard, Ben.
Yep. Like you said, the 46.46 units, just put that in perspective. You got a 10K bankroll. That's putting you up just about 15 grand on the, or not up, your bankroll up to 15 grand, that 50% increase, which is pretty damn good. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you guys know where to sign up, howtobeatthebookie.com, or download the How to Beat the Bookie app. Like John said, we do appreciate all of you guys who tune in. If you guys want to help us grow, giving out this free information to more people, like, subscribe, comment below. And we got a massive NBA card today. We have our first Tuesday in-season tournament slate. These are games that are going to be going on Tuesdays and Fridays in November. And we've had a couple of Fridays with it. No NBA action last Tuesday with Election Day. So here we are with our first Tuesday in-season tournament day. We'll see how these go. And really, I'm interested to see who all plays today. We got a lot of injuries, a lot of question marks.
Big injuries.
Yeah, big injuries. So our members will be updated on that throughout the day. Obviously, part of the reason NBA created this in the first place was to get the players to buy in, care about the regular season, show up for games, this and that. We'll see, because you got some star players with some question marks to them. We'll see if Adam Silver gets his wish of them showing up and actually playing today. First game on the card, John, Heat at the Hornets. We have this Miami team started off rough. Next thing you know, they've ripped off 5 straight. Not really covering numbers, but they are hanging in tight, winning games. And then you have the Hornets got crushed at New York against the Knicks on Sunday. LaMelo Ball had a very nice game, but they allowed the Knicks to shoot 55%. A Knicks team that's been struggling. Charlotte, second worst against the spread team at home last year, won 3 straight up against the spread. And this season, this is a matchup the Heat, Heat had a lot of success in prior years. They had won 7 straight at 1.5, 1-1 against the spread, but the Hornets did win both meetings in Charlotte last year. So do the Heat kind of regress and come back to the norm? Do they start on this matchup again? They're on a roll right now. Hard for me to want to back the Charlotte team. Worst NBA team at home worst home team in the NBA will be a lean here to Miami. Slightest of leans to the over in this matchup. History playing over. Charlotte playing over, but Miami, very undertrending team, John.
Yeah. Miami and nobody, as Ben said, 5 straight wins. They just do everything ass backwards. This Miami team. They dogged the regular season. All of a sudden, playoff Jimmy comes out and they're knocking off the number 1 seed. Now, they've done the last few games without leading scorer Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler also misses the Hawk game without Hero and Butler. Me and Ben dive in for one of our halftimes. Actually, our only halftime losers so far this year.
Yeah.
Figure Atlanta will make a little bit of a run and they get the job done. So Atlanta playing, the Heat playing really good ball, even without Hero, somehow getting the job done. Bam stepping out, playing great. Heat or nobody in this game. Just watching the line move. I think we got our answer on the first question mark today, Ben. It looks like Trae Young's going to be out as this game nosedives right now and teams taking off the board. We'll get back to that in a second. But as I was saying, Heat, I make the Heat a little high. I've been playing good ball. But last game of a road trip, always a little tricky. They go home and play Brooklyn next. So I'm a little higher, but not enough room to lay the Heat in this one.
Then we have Pacers at the 76ers. It's going to be a second game of a 2-game set here. It's kind of a theme of today. We have a lot of those setups going on. Philly did take care of business in the first one, 137-126. Some ownership here, but not really. They've won 7 straight, but just 3 and 4 against the spread. So Indiana's hung in there with a lot of these. I will say 76ers just keep covering. 8-1 straight up against the spread. They've won all 6, covered all 6 at home by an average of 14.5 points. So Philly team getting it done. But like John said, a lot of question marks today. Joel Embiid with a question mark. All he does is second in the NBA, scoring over 32 a game. Got to see what's going on with Embiid today. And Indiana overs. It's been probably the best bet in the NBA season so far. Only one of their games did not go over. That was against the Bulls. Each of their last 7 went over, averaging 253 a game. 7 of the last 8 meetings went over, averaging 254 a game. Obviously, this total will fluctuate if Embiid is in or out. Even if he's out, though, this number is going to drop. And yes, he scores a lot, but he's also their best defender. He slows down their game a little bit. And he gets a lot of his points at the free throw line, which slows up the game, allows him to get back and set up on defense. So I think even without Embiid, this would be a bit more of an over-trending game, John.
Embiid, look, the Phillies get Boston tomorrow. As we had talked about already, this was the part of the look ahead for the Celtics. They got beat by Philly last week. We had Philly in that game, 106-103 win. But this is a game Philly wants also. They want to beat Boston. And so this will be a little look ahead game. So I think they're probably inclined to sit Embiid, not play him back to back when he's got to go up against the Celtics tomorrow. We'll see. And so much has to do with Embiid with this one. This is a game I had circled for Indiana, but I was looking for a much bigger number at this. As Ben said, Phillies won the last 7 meetings at Philadelphia, but just 4-3 against the spread. So they find a way to get under that number. And after taking one on the chin the other night, I would have liked them taking the bigger points. I wanted more than 7 in this game, and I'd have been on Indiana. We'll wait to get the confirmation on Embiid. My guess is he sits, and he'll be fresh to play the Celtics tomorrow. Maxey scored 50 the other day with Embiid on, so look for him to put on a repeat performance. As Ben said, the only thing I'd look at here is the over.
Then we have Hawks at Detroit. No official news yet, I believe, on Trae Young.
It's just official. Young out. Official.
Oh, it's official? So Trae Young will be out. So that's the first
Personal.
of the big news we have coming today. A lot of question marks as we get through this card. Jalen Duren, he's going to continue missing some time here for Detroit. Detroit playing pitiful basketball right now. 8 straight losses, 2-6 against the spread. They're 1-4 at home this season. Atlanta not playing the best ball right now. 1-2, 0-3 against the spread their last 3, giving up a lot of points. But this has get right spot all over it. Hawks won the last 4 meetings last year, 3-1 against the spread by an average of 19 points. And yes, obviously you'd rather have Trae Young in the lineup, but could be one of those instances you're getting value here on a team because a player is missing. Although DeJounte Murray is not Trae Young, very similar play style. He's able to score. He's able to facilitate. So, yes, they're going to be short bodies, but still going to have more talent than the Pistons. They're still going to have the best player on the floor tonight. Would be Atlanta or nobody in matchup they own.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray doing a hell of a better job than Trae. 49.7% shooting. Trae Young, 35.7%. Trae's not been great. He had that big bust-out first half in Mexico, in the Mexico City game, and then tailed off in the second half. Just hasn't been having great games. But as Ben said, get right spot. Atlanta needs it. They've dropped 2 of their last 3. Excuse me, guys. They go to OKC. They lose the game prior to going to Mexico City. And that's, again, we always talk about a spot to look at. So they drop that one. We'll give them a little room for that one. Getting beat, OKC, good team, good at home. Go to Mexico City. In a nail-biter, just get it done against Orlando. Orlando without Carter, Fultz, and Harris, three rotation players. And then they come home. And they lose to Miami without Hero and Butler, as we talked about. That's a bad L. So get right spot for the Hawks. They got the Pistons. They beat them up 4 times last year, 3-1 against the spread in those games. So if the number goes down low enough, again, I'd be interested in the Hawks. It's Hawks or nobody. Want no part of Detroit. After a couple of good games in the beginning of the season, Detroit's just being Detroit. A terrible team. Duren is going to be out again tonight. Atlanta or nobody.
Then in this next matchup, we got a couple of youngins going at it. Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, 2 favorites as far as rookie of the year. Wembanyama currently with the slight edge on that, but Spurs not getting it done right now. They've dropped 5 straight, 1-4 against the spread. They're last in points allowed and a lot of question marks. Keldon Johnson, Sohan, and Jones all questionable. Got to see what's going on there. OKC playing some pretty good ball right now, coming off a nice win against Phoenix. SGA continuing a terrific season, 35-7-4 in that one. Matchup history, Thunder, a lot of success. They've now won, 7 of the last 9? They won all 3 meetings last year by combined 36 points. A lot of over trends in this matchup. Got to see who's all in here for San Antonio. What's going on with that? Would be a lean here to the over in this matchup. And if everyone's out for San Antonio, slightest of leans here to OKC. Really big number on this game, but could be warranted with all these guys out. So it depends on that. If they get at least Keldon Johnson back in, would be a slider lean to San Antonio in this one. But I think you have some more success on the total in this game, John.
Yeah, San Antonio, as you said, Ben, they've dropped 5 straight, 1-4 against the spread. That one was a win by the hook, 7.5 in a backdoor spot. We actually caught San Antonio in that game against the Timberwolves. It was a game that they outscored the Timberwolves by 10 points in the fourth quarter just to cover by a 0.5 point. So lost 5, 1-4 against the spread. But for all intents and purposes, man, it's been ugly. And it started with the game against the Toronto Raptors in San Antonio, another 20-something point lead that they wind up going to overtime and blowing that game. Look, this San Antonio team, a lot of fanfare around Wembanyama. I know this kid's going to be great, but down the road, yet he's just not. He's had a good game so far, here or there. But this is still the Spurs from last year. Only thing different is Pop is not tanking every game to get Wembanyama. He's got him already. So they're marginally better, but basically the same team as last year. As this kid grows, accustomed to the NBA, they'll get better and better. It's going to be a long process. 3 guys questionable tonight, 3 rotation players. Johnson, Sokin, starters. OKC and nobody if they're all out.
And we have Magic going on to Brooklyn. Orlando coming off a nice win against the Bucks. They snapped a 14-game losing streak against Milwaukee. Granted, no Damian Lillard in that matchup. They forced 19 turnovers, and Banchero playing nice lately. Had a nice game there as well. This Nets team keeps on covering. 5-5 straight up, 8-1-1 against the spread. The 2 games they didn't cover, a push against Boston, and it didn't cover against Boston in 2 games. A team that owns them. Everyone else they've covered against. So it's hard to look past that. Would be a lean to the Nets just based on that principle alone. They've had success in the matchup, 8 of the last 11 meetings. Only 5-6 against the spread, but keep in mind this was a much worse Orlando team, a much better Brooklyn team, the KD, Kyrie, Brooklyn Nets. So a lot bigger favorites there that they weren't covering. Orlando was hanging in the number 3.5 on this game, much lower. Would rather have Ben Simmons in this matchup. Both teams under trending, matchups under trending. Lean to the under in this and lean to the Nets.
I'm right there with this line. It's sitting at 3 right now, and I think that's right where it belongs. Nick, the Nets got Claxton back in the last game, a real good game. Didn't look like he missed much. Came back, had a real good game, and I'm actually watching Hawks bounce right back to 4 right now. So didn't get low enough for me to like the Hawks without Trae Young. But as we expected, it's Atlanta or nobody, even with Trae Young out. Back to the Nets. Game sitting at 2.5 or 3, depending on your book. I'm right there with this number. As I said, Claxton coming back. Look, the Nets, how they've gotten it done. Claxton, Cam Johnson basically missed after the first game, the next 8 games. Then Simmons is out. Now Cam Thomas is out, who's actually their leading scorer. They get Claxton back. They've been a mess, and they're hanging in there. They're playing decent ball, the Nets. Magic also playing nice ball, and they're missing 3 of their rotation players, as we said. Carter, Fultz, and Harris. Right there with the number in this one. Unless there's a big change, I won't be interested in it.
We have Mavs at New Orleans. It's another one of those 2-game sets here in New Orleans. Mavs win the first game 136-124. Kyrie and Luka had big games combined for 65. And this game was on a turnover battle. 18 turnovers for the Pelicans, just 6 for Dallas. That's going to be your game summed up right there. We'll see if New Orleans gets things back on track. They've now lost 5 straight, 0-4-1 against the spread. And they don't really have a true point guard coming into the season. I think we're seeing that with the loss of McCollum. I mean, obviously the turnover numbers are showing up too, but you take out McCollum as the primary ball handler, puts more pressure on Zion and Ingram to do that. Not that they can't, but I think that's where the real struggle's been. The lack of a point guard. Alvarado still out. Herb Jones questionable in this one. Pelicans did win both meetings last year. We'll see if Dallas can steal 2 in a row here. I'm higher on the Pelicans than they've looked, but the ball handling concern has definitely been an issue for them.
Yeah, Ben, Pelicans won both meetings in New Orleans last year. So we'll see if Dallas can sweep them. I don't think they can. This is the one game we bet yesterday for today. DraftKings posted this lineup at 4. I took +4. Pels are a desperate. Look, Dallas red hot. Look, Kyrie and Luka, when they did that trade last year, it wasn't working. Looks different. Looks like Kyrie knows Luka's the man. So Luka's going to be Batman. Kyrie will be Robin. And it looks like they've settled in. They're playing real nice basketball. Can they go take 2 at New Orleans? Tonight's game, I think either New Orleans is going to beat the game or they're going to get blown out again. I think it's one of those 2 things. They've got talent there. McCollum, he's on the injured list. He's missed the last few games. And as we've said, Alvarado, Murphy, and Marshall were out from the beginning of the season. Now, they did get Marshall back the other night. They're hoping to get Jones back tonight. I just think a desperate Pelican team needs this game more than Dallas, who beat them by 12, but they had them buried. So the final score, not really indicative of the game. I think Pelicans need to come with a game. Saw Zion's interview after the game, real down. But I expect them to rally around that loss and come up with a big game tonight. Dallas travels after this game, goes to Washington tomorrow, where they've actually lost 4 straight against Washington. So I like the Pelicans. We took +4 in this one.
Yeah, you made that comment about Kyrie kind of buying into being the number 2 option. Obviously, that's when he was best in Cleveland. He tried forcing his way being number 1 in Boston. Brooklyn didn't really work. It just reminds me of what Jordan Poole kind of been saying lately, how it's his team now, and he's glad to have his own team and lead his own team. And it just feels very similar to Kyrie winning alongside Braun, going out, forcing his way out, and now realizing he can't do it on his own, which I think Jordan Poole's realizing very quickly.
There's the only way basketball works is if everybody knows their role. And we said this before. 5 guys together's a fist. You try to hit somebody with this. Okay, that's nothing. But hit somebody with this is a difference. So unless those 5 guys are acting as one on the court, and that's what you need. And we'll talk more about the Harden nightmare in a little bit. But you've got to have 5 guys. Everybody got to know their role and accept it. And play both ways, offense, defense. And once that happens, you make a good team. So what didn't work last year, and again, we saw this also with Gobert and Cat. We talked a little bit about that at the end. That Cat missed a ton of time. It started to work maybe a little bit at the end, but you can see this year that's a different team. Also, the emergence of Anthony Edwards. So that this Timberwolves team, they're going to make some noise, I think. And then again, every team that we talk about, guys, if there's an injury, it kind of blows stuff up. But you can say that about every single team. But yeah, Luka, Kyrie, looking good so far. They got to go to New Orleans. New Orleans, a desperate team. 5 straight L's. They're at home. They need this one. I took them +4.
And we have Blazers at Utah. Blazers playing decent basketball. They just lost to the Lakers. No LeBron, but they covered. They lost 3 straight. But hey, they're 5-1 against the spread their last 6. Brogdon, big question mark, and they're going to need him. They're banged up already. Henderson, Simons, a couple of guards already out. Obviously, Robert Williams, season-ending surgery. So, short-handed Pelicans team. The one benefit they got from the Lillard trade was they finally have some depth, and now that's already cooked. Not even a month into the season yet. So we'll see if that picks up for them at all. This Utah team, they go 1-3 on the trip. They pick up a win there against Memphis. Got it done with a lot of free throws, 27-29 there. Utah, just 2-2 straight up against the spread at home. We'll see if they get any better here. This is a game they should take care of business in. They've just been underperforming. And this Blazers team, a lot of success in the matchup last year. A worse Blazers team. They won 3 or 4 meetings last year, including both at Utah by an average of 8.5 points. This is Blazers or nobody. They keep hanging around numbers. Got to see what's going on with Brogdon. Obviously want him in this lineup here. They're not scoring much, but Utah bottom 5 in points allowed, so it should help them out offensively a little bit tonight, John.
Yeah, I'm not going to count on Brogdon playing. This is another paper mache guy. Misses time every year. We actually had one of the guys. Why didn't we bet Portland the other day? LeBron is out. The plus minus. We get all that. We didn't bet Portland the other day at LA because Brogdon was out. Not bad if Brogdon was out by himself, but as Ben said, they're already a disaster. Lost Simons in the first game or 2 of the season. Henderson, the other point. So you're down to Brogdon, and now he's out. You got Sharp playing point for them. That's why we didn't bet it. All that being said, if this game was any higher, I would take Portland. Utah just not that good. They went on the road. They got wiped. They won their last game after getting 3 beatdowns by double digits at Memphis, where the refs gave them 29 free throws to the home team's only 13. Yep. And they knocked down 27-29, while the Grizzlies only hit 10 of 13. That's how they won the one game on the road. So they're off to a terrible start. Utah, if the game goes any higher, would be Portland or nobody for me. Not willing to lay this on the road, this price with Portland. Not willing to lay this price with the Jazz against Portland, a team that's won the last 2 trips into Utah.
We have this Clippers team going on to the reigning champs in Denver, and they've had their woes. Dropped 5 straight, all 4 with Harden, just scoring 104.3 points per game. You made that comment about how any comments you make about it, teams long-term is based on injuries. Clippers might be the only team in the NBA that could be better based off their injuries when they get a little bit more shorthanded, get a little bit less clustered in there. Harden on the floor, -67 off the floor. The Clippers are +24. Just a crazy plus-minus differential there in the first 4 games. We'll see if it gets better, but going to struggle doing that against Denver. Denver hasn't lost at home yet, 6-0, 4-2 against the spread. Clippers haven't won on the road yet, 0-5 straight up against the spread. And as far as the matchup history, Nuggets have won 12 in the last 14 meetings, 10-4 against the spread, and the last 4 in Denver by double digits. This has got to be a Denver or nothing situation here. Clippers look horrible. Nuggets look like the most cohesive. It's just complete opposites. The most cohesive team with the most chemistry versus the worst chemistry in the NBA.
Yeah, what Ben said. Don't really need to go into it that much. Adding the fact Denver coming off a loss at Houston, so it's not like they're going to overlook this Clipper team. Yeah. They'll come in looking for a win. Excuse me. They're also still going to be without Jamal Murray, so look for the Joker to have a big day on a day rest. Don't think you're in any danger of sitting him. They'll look to get this win. Clippers haven't won on the road. Denver hasn't lost at home. Denver owns them. They're coming off a loss. Hey, the Clippers come up with a win, beat us. We laid 4.5 on this game.
Then we have T-Wolves at Golden State. Another one of the stars questionable here. Steph Curry with a question mark. After their in-season tournament win at OKC, the first in-season tournament game, he said afterwards, it's not a regular Friday. It's an in-season tournament game, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see if he's one of the guys that takes it serious at all as far as showing up for this game tonight because they need him. Nobody on the team else yet to score 20 points this season. Going to be tough. Minnesota, red hot, playing good ball right now. 6 straight, 5-1 against the spread. And just a matchup nightmare a little bit here for Golden State. A really big, tall, lengthy Wolves team versus Golden State, who's pioneered small ball a little bit, but gotten even smaller and older with Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, just shells of themselves. So it's a little bit tougher to dominate small ball when some of the other guards aren't playing up to par. So need Curry in this game. It's a revenge spot. Another one of these second game and a 2-game sets. Would lean here to Golden State if Curry's in. Want no part of it if he's out. Would be looking at the under in that case.
Yeah. Golden State's off to a terrible start. They're 1-3 now at home and haven't covered a game. Their only win at home was a 1-point win over a Sacramento team that had no Fox.
Yeah.
That ain't good. Throw in with that. Minnesota playing real good basketball. As we talked about, Gobert, Cat finally figuring that out together. So now you get this real big team, and you got Anthony Edwards just blowing stuff up. This kid's coming into his own this year. Keep an eye on them. So if there's no Steph, this could get ugly. I could see Minnesota putting a beat down on Golden State. Minnesota, they've won the last 2 games. But they had been crushed by Golden State for years before that at Golden State. So it may take out a little of their frustration on them. We'll got to wait to see for Steph. Again, I don't know if Ben mentioned it. Besides Steph, no other Warrior has scored 20 points in any game. Steph is averaging 30. He's third in the league, and I believe he's 35 years old, averaging 30 a game. Steph is huge for them in this game. We'll wait to see if he's in or if he's out.
Then last game on the card, Grizzlies at the Lakers. Tillman and Williams both questionable here for a shorthanded Memphis team. They need all the bodies they can get. And LeBron questionable here for the Lakers. Missed last game. We'll see if he suits up for this one. They get Sacramento next. Again, we'll see. Do these stars care at all about the in-season tournament? We're going to find out tonight. Grizzlies coming off a win, but against the Clippers. So does it really mean much? 2-2 straight up against the spread their last 4, just getting that second win on the season. Memphis 28th in scoring. And you have a little bit of playoff revenge here for the Grizzlies. Lakers beat them in 6 games last year. They've also won the last 5 meetings in LA, 5-0 against the spread by an average of 13 points. Lakers winning at home, 4-0, not covering 1-3 against the spread. I imagine if LeBron plays, they absolutely get up for this game. Yes, you have a playoff revenge factor here for Memphis, but it's just not the same Memphis team. I mean, you don't have the same, if Dylan Brooks and John Morant were playing here, okay, maybe you get up a little bit more with the playoff revenge factor. Obviously, without those 2 guys here, would be a lean to the Lakers. Got to have LeBron in, similar the most important plus minus in the NBA right now, maybe besides Jokic.
Yeah, no, LeBron's been huge for all you LeBron haters out there. I mean, you just can't deny what the guy has done. And AD's playing good ball. He had a big game with
Absolutely.
LeBron out the other day to save them from taking an L to Portland. They just get off to notoriously slow starts. The Lakers. We'll see how they do tonight. Now, I don't think it's so much, excuse me, Embiid or LeBron in their two cases, whether they want to play or not tonight for this in-season trophy nonsense. I think they've both got games tomorrow that they're looking ahead to. So you've got Philly with Embiid has got the big matchup with the Celtics tomorrow. LeBron, Sacramento comes to town. They've had a real tough time with Sacramento. Sacramento's beaten them 5 of the last 6 meetings and took them in overtime, which cost us a bet earlier this year when the Lakers went into Sacramento and they, like I said, take an OT loss. So they've been telling us from the beginning of the year they wanted to keep LeBron down at 28, 30 minutes, keep him fresh for the playoffs. After game 1, they blew that up, and he's been playing 35, 36 minutes. They gave him off the last game, but now the front end, do you sit him against the Memphis team that's really struggling and play him tomorrow against Sacramento and let him go balls to the wall? Or do you try to get a little something out of him both nights? He's a legitimate question mark. So is Embiid. Embiid, I'm leaning toward more that he's towards the doubtful side, but we're going to see how it goes. And again, it is now 11:58, guys. We don't have the answers for this question. We will have them, and that's why you should become a member.
Yep, sign up on the app or the website, guys, and you guys will find out about all of those question marks. There's a bunch of them on the card and some pretty big names, which are going to move numbers a pretty good amount. Could change if we have bets later on tonight in certain games. Make sure you guys sign up on the app. Check that out. Appreciate all you guys who've been tuning in. Keep helping us grow this thing. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz below. Get this thing growing. John, big Monday night, 6 of the last 7 days in the green, 10 straight weeks winning in the NFL. Hopefully we can carry that into a big Tuesday here.
Yeah, we're going to get this NBA moving. Again, guys, I'm really good at NFL. I'm really good in Major League Baseball. I am the best NBA handicapper in the world. That is going to make us money. Right, but I told guys, buy low. Right now, buy low. Get in. We're crushing the NFL. It's almost a 50% return in 10 weeks. The NBA will make money by the end of the year. Right now is the time to jump aboard.
Absolutely is. Make sure you guys check out the app, check out the website. Thanks for tuning in. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.